I tested every single prediction market arbitrage tool, so you don't have to. I'll be going through the top 5, starting off with number 5, we have EventArb.com. I'll be basing each tool in this list off its pricing, its venue coverage, and number 3 is technical abilities. And number 5, EventArb ultimately is a free event contract arbitrage calculator. They offer a very simple free tool, but I have this on the list just because it's handy. It is a number 5. It is meant to be the worst tool on this list, but I don't want to write them off completely, as they do tend to act more like a feature than an actual product. But if you want a calculator on the go, something handy to just calculate arbitrage if you think you found an opportunity that might not be in a platform, this is a great way to do it. You can ultimately go through binary or multiple choice markets on Polymarket, Kalshi, and Robinhood, and ultimately it's a totally free tool, so it doesn't cost you a dime. Coming in at number 4, we do have Oddpool. Now, Oddpool is actually a company backed by YC, which in hindsight makes them look the most premium product on this list. However, it's number 4 on this list because, number 1, it doesn't have much of a venue coverage. The only venues that they do support is Polymarket, Kalshi, and Opinion. So they only have 3 venues. And number 2, one thing that is a big concern is its technical ability. For when it comes to calculating spreads, liquidity risks, pricing fees, they do not do that to the extent, or if any, compared to the other platforms I'll be going through in this video. Ultimately, they just show you the prices and they do show the order books and so on, but the overall capability is very limited. And if you have been trading arbitrage like myself, you will know that the liquidity risk, the thin order books, and the overall fees play a massive factor in your net profit. And when it's not priced out in that way, it can be somewhat, I wouldn't say completely misleading, but it can mislead some beginners who might not be as aware of how arbitrage actually works and how you calculate your profit. So when it comes to actually getting your fees down the line and also the overall technical ability, they don't really break it down. I love to see your fees on Opinion, your fees on Polymarket, and break down the order book liquidity depth and how that changes based on your capital. And Oddpool to that extent is somewhat limited. Now, next up on the list, we do have Arbbets. Now, Arbbets is actually very similar to Oddpool for when it comes to its capabilities. The only difference that puts this ahead of Oddpool is the fact they actually offer one more prediction market, which is Novig. Novig is a CFTC regulated sports prediction market. I would go as far to say probably the biggest one. And don't fact check me on that. I'm just saying that just based on overall social sentiment. But they do offer Novig prediction markets. So again, I do think this just steps it up slightly above Oddpool. When it comes to pricing, they do charge about $40, about $59, apologize. But it is slightly more expensive than Oddpool, which makes sense based on its capabilities. And Oddpool, on the other hand, is very limited again with its capabilities compared to Novig. Sorry, not Novig, Arbbets. It does charge a bit more for when it comes to the API and SDK usage as well. So it's a slightly more expensive solution, but it's definitely a solution worth using if, again, you're willing to spend that bit more money on finding these opportunities. But the reason why it's not high on this list is because of the venue coverage. They don't cover as many venues as the other 2 tools I'll be going through now. Coming in at number 2, we do have Predict.fun. This comes in at number 2, and the only reason it's not number 1 is, actually there's 2 reasons why it's not number 1. One reason is because of its venue coverage. That is extremely important. They don't cover as many venues as the other 2 tools on this list. And number 2, it does not do a good job at actually giving you the full breakdown of fees, the breakdown on its liquidity, risks, the order book depth. Ultimately, a good trade router and trading sort of infrastructure should really break down what your fees would be and how that risk would come along based on your capital for when it comes to the liquidity and the order book. And they don't do the best job at that. They do a good show at showing it, but automating it at one point, they don't do the best job compared to the best solution that I'll be going through in a second. Coming in at number 1, we do have Predictefy. Now, if you have not seen Predictefy around, I'll be very surprised, as if you have been trading arbitrage, you are probably trading through them. They have the largest venue coverage. They also got access to the API and SDKs. It has similar pricing to the other ones in this list. And the main thing that I really like about Predictefy is, of course, the venue coverage. I'm gonna go back here actually and show you that they do have over 15 plus prediction market venues within the platform, which obviously brings up a lot more opportunities. Number 2, also for when it comes to the overall risk factor, you can see these guys auto calculate your fees, how much you should put on each hand as you move your capital. And compared to the other ones in this list, I haven't seen any of them go as far and as detailed as Predictefy does. You can also see one thing they do very well, which has saved me a lot of money in the long term, is when, let's say, you go with much larger capital, you can see they auto calculate that you would lose money based on the order book depth. And there's no other platform that does that, which is concerning because this can cost you a lot of money. So Predictefy definitely takes up the number 1 list based on its venue coverage. The fees, they charge 0 platform fees. Number 3, they keep you safe from losing money, because a lot of the arbitrage tools in this video ultimately might not, if you're smart enough and you know how you're going about it, but most of you will ultimately end up being affected. And Predictefy is a tool that I use. I'll be linking all the tools down in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.